All right, welcome everyone to the semifinals of SCS. Once again, I'm Niz. You're watching NizCast, and I've got a co-caster with me. We've got Goofy joining me. Goofy, how you doing?
First pick Chen. That's pretty much how
Just
I'm
getting
doing
right
now.
into it, eh? All right.
First pick Chen hype.
Um,
For once, I don't know any of the players, even though they're well-known players. It just happens to be not my circle, so I'm not gonna have as much insight as usual. But I also don't understand the meta, so I got a lot going for me casting tonight.
we're gonna get some pretty deep insight here coming from Goofy. No, he typically
Fairly
does a good
difficult,
job.
dude. Look, dude, he first picked Chen, and then they still first pick Juggernaut. Dude. They don't care about the old school counter, man.
Yep. Before we get into too much though, guys, I am doing have a little bit of a different audio setup. So if Goofy's a little too quiet, or maybe I need to boost him up a little bit, let me know. I have a feeling he's probably a little bit quiet. So yeah, just let me know. Let me know how I have to adjust that.
10 seconds.
Besides that, we've got Team QQQ, aka Top 5, playing on the
5
dire side this
seconds
time around,
remaining.
and they're going to be going up against. Well, they're going by the name of Trap Queens, but they're Jonpak+13. And Jonpak, who's asking for a shout out, he's accepting donations for a new mouse as his is dying. And I forget what his email was. I think it was John Pack.
I don't understand this nonsense,
I don't
man.
remember.
I've used the Dell optical mouse since 2004. I got it with the first
Radiant
gaming
team
computer I
ban.
bought when I was a kid. I don't know, it's holding up all right, man.
Man,
All
I
the
used
pads
to
on there.
I used to go with the Microsoft IntelliMouse, and I went through like 7 of those or something like that playing Warcraft 3. I went through a lot.
10
Right click's
seconds
always
remaining.
die in games like that, especially if you're playing a lot of Dota.
5
This
seconds
mouse is
remaining.
indestructible, the one that I use, man. I've played every game on it for years, and it just doesn't die, man.
Reserve
Yep.
time.
I use Logitech G5 or G500, and I go through those. I don't want to say pretty quickly.
Dire
They last
team
about a year.
ban.
You know, it's a disaster, man. I have a stuffy nose tonight, and
Radiant
Sizzo
team
already
ban.
says I sound like Kermit all the time, so. What do you think about this? They picked Juggernaut to Chen. We wouldn't do that back in the day, man. This Juggernaut
Well-
stuff is getting out of control.
I mean, the first 4 bans in the Bat, the Troll, the Axe, and the Sniper, nothing
10
surprising there.
seconds
We've
remaining.
seen a lot of Juggernaut getting picked up coming out of that banning phase, and Chen's kind of new.
Dire team
We've seen it
ban.
twice tonight in the 2 games so far, but I did mention in the first draft that Chen is actually, when you look at just supports, he's actually one of the higher win rate supports. Not as high as Venge, which is number 1, which we haven't seen tonight. Not as high as Lion
10
either, but
seconds
Chen is
remaining.
pretty high up there. I think he's above AA, and he's like 4th, 5th, maybe
5
even 3rd.
seconds
So
remaining.
he's pretty high valued there. And the fact that they just say, you know
Reserve
what?
time.
Like, you can pick a Chen, you can have a million creeps out there. We don't care. We're
Dire
just going to pick
team
the
pick.
Juggernaut into it. I think says something about how strong these teams value the Juggernaut and how strong they think that hero is. I think for a long time people thought Juggernaut was just Omni Slash and that he couldn't farm and he couldn't go late. But I think people are starting to turn around on that. Do you think that's kind of the same? Like,
10
For a while,
seconds
Mike was
remaining.
doing this. IX Mike, I should say, was doing this.
5
thing in-
seconds remaining.
I guess NEL and his pubs where he's going jug and he's going off lane and he spin the
Reserve
creeps
time.
and then he max healing ward. I don't think you're doing that anymore, but he max healing ward and then when you came for him, he would just spin TP out over and over again. And if your team didn't have something to interrupt his spin TP out, he would just push one lane the whole game. And I think maybe that might have something to do. I kind of went missing for a while. I think that maybe might have something to do with why people started picking up Juggernaut so much because he would get so farmed and then like. He'd also be pushing your lane the whole game. And the hero basically can't die if you save spin against certain teams, right? You need to get something to stop it. So I think spin TP out is really it's imba. Please stop this. You know?
well, the build that people typically go is like kind of like a 1 point spin, 1 point healing ward, and then they end up maxing crit. But they do get like a few points into stats. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of like when you think back to like how Burning used to build AM, and everyone kind of had their own kind of variation of how many
Radiant
stats
team
you get and
pick.
stuff like that. Juggernaut's kind of the same way. I think people are some like to get a few more points in stats than others. Some just go straight for maxing that crit.
Juggernaut in Dota 2 looks a little bit like he belongs to the Bloodline Champions.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Was a
With
good
that
game, by
mask,
the way.
BLC had a very tribal feel to it.
Yeah.
The maybe Juggernaut's benefiting from that.
Well, we've
10
got.
seconds remaining.
Not only do we have our second set of bans, we had the Shadow Fiend and the Bristle
5
getting
seconds
removed
remaining.
from by QQQ, or top 5. And Storm and Tide getting removed by Trap
Reserve
Queens,
time.
aka Jonpak+13. So that leaves us
Yeah.
with Jug Lion AA. So they've got a support duo already.
A is so scary when you have like a hero like Lion that can just always
Dire
poke you.
team
He
pick.
just throws those like flaming cheeseburgers from so far, man.
I think I have to adjust you a little bit higher. But yeah, you've got. I think the AA was a terrific pickup here. You're picking up an A, not only going up against a Chen, so you can prevent kind of that Hand of God as well as a potential mech coming out from Chen. So you're preventing that healing, but you're also doing it up
Radiant
against the
team
Slark,
pick.
which A is one of the stronger counters against Slark, as far as I'm concerned. So I think that's a terrific pickup for them.
Yes, people still consider A really good against Slark, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's pretty standard. I don't know how much does Slark get picked, dude. You know what's
He's-
interesting?
he's
I feel
pretty
like
high.
whenever I have Chinese players or South American players in my
10
pubs, they love
seconds
Slark in my
remaining.
pubs. And then like NA people don't pick them as much.
Yeah,
And
I agree with
5
that.
seconds
they'll absolutely
remaining.
run away with pubs. Run away with pubs with Slark. And oh man, he's imba. Please nerf.
Reserve time.
Well, we saw QQQ also pick up a Clockwork, which is actually going to pair quite well with their Ancient Apparition, but it's going to counter. I mean, not so much in the laning phase, but going forward, it's going to counter the Lina, which was picked up by Trap Queens. And, I mean, I spoke about it in Game 1. If Clockwork can jump on that Lina and get the Battery Assault up, Lina can't cast. She just keeps raising her hand. She can't
Dire
actually get
team
anything
back.
off.
She can Laguna Blade, right?
No, she can't.
This exception. She can't Laguna Blade.
She
with
can't
Fox
even
on her?
Laguna.
Oh, we're gonna have to test this in a costume game afterwards.
It happened. I was playing Lina like a week
Just
ago.
because you couldn't cast
And it
doesn't mean
Yo, I was facing the guy. The guy was like 7 HP, and I couldn't get anything off. I was so sad.
I think you can Laguna, man. We're gonna have to look into it.
You can't Laguna.
You can't Dragon either. They're both so quick.
I don't know if you can Dragon. I know you can't
10
LSA, and I know you
seconds
can't
remaining.
Laguna.
We're gonna have to do some research.
5
But
seconds remaining.
just like
Wow.
a rocket, Clockwork's really annoying when you pick a mid hero. Like once she has the
Reserve
Yules, it's
time.
different. But back in the day when you pick Shadow Fiend, now he gets Yules as well. But like a Clockwork, even when he's pretty far behind, he could suicide on you on mid, and
Mhm.
Clock was really good at that. So if Lina doesn't see early Yules, Clockwork has the ability to pretty much trade for you. That's one thing that was good about that hero. So if you pick like a greedy SF, the other team would pick Clockwork and they just
Dire
hook you
team
and
pick.
they die and you would die, and then it'd be a really good trade for them, especially if you were the one for your team.
I think that's one of the strengths of Lina's, the fact that you can't really prevent that Yules from coming out that quickly at all.
It's basically like Death Prophet, but with longer attack range.
Yeah, it's
She's just gonna nuke out every wave.
and it's a Radiant Lina as well. Like she's got access to the jungle a little bit more readily than she would on the Dire side. I think it's going to be
10
very, very
seconds
difficult for them
remaining.
to really prevent that Yules from coming out. But there is definitely going to be an opportunity there
seconds
for Clock
remaining.
to dive on the Lina before the Yules come out. Clock should definitely hit 6 before she gets the Yules.
Reserve time.
If that doesn't happen, something's going terribly, terribly wrong.
Whenever I drafted, I had this aversion to picking, like after the other team had like A and Rocket, like they do here. I'd have an aversion to picking a hero like Mirana, but they did pick up Mirana. What role is that Mirana, man? Is that a support Mirana?
That's a support Mirana. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, at least.
So, like generally, I would try to not pick up another hero who can die just to AAL plus a Rocket almost. But
and
if this AA runs away with the game, it's gonna be really
Radiant
bad. Like
team pick.
yeah.
for Radiant. But if not, like a late 6 could really help them get an early lead, especially with their Chen pushing towers. People still push with Chen, right? I'm not that far disconnected from the game.
Yeah, people still push his Shen.
Yeah,
Oh.
Look at that Magnus too, man. So that's
It's well, this is
that's an
interesting.
offlane.
Is this
Maybe offlane Magnus?
Huh?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
know
gonna,
which player plays which role?
I'm guessing it's going to be offlane Mag. Lina mid, Slark safe, farming with the Mirana kind of supporting her.
You get
And
to call
China
the Radiant team's names out when we introduce the players.
Okay. All right, well, we're into the game. Let's introduce those players, as Goofy was just talking about. On the Radiant side, we have...
Prepare for battle.
Well, what was their team name? Jonpak+13. So, playing their Chen is going to be Fan. Playing their Lina is going to be... Blackcock Dangerous Goa TV. Alright, probably just going to call him Lina. Playing the Mirana is going to be Scruffy. I have a feeling that was Mr. Scruffy in chat in the last game. We've got Jonpak playing that Slark. Keep in mind he's looking for donations for a new mouse. And we've got LOK or Locke playing the Magnus.
For Dire, we have Shanks on the Lion, picking up boots first, which is pretty interesting. Whatever on the AA. It's going to be pretty influential if he gets to early 6. Burning, most appropriately,
30
on the
seconds
Medusa.
to battle.
I don't know who Dark Green is. He's got some Chinese name, but he's on the Juggernaut. And we have AJ on the Clockwork in the offlane.
Yeah, so you said it's a little surprising that Lion picks up the boots first, but that's actually pretty standard.
Yeah. One support's getting boots first every game
Yeah,
now.
pretty much your 4 is, or at least not always your 4, but your support that's going to be able to initiate is almost always getting your boots now. Off
Yeah,
the
I've definitely
start.
noticed that trend, but
You won't
we'll
you
look
won't
to-
see it
look
on
to
the
see him.
Radiant side, but
maybe catch somebody. What is what did Mirana buy everything, man? Look at Mirana's inventory.
yeah.
Oh boy, it's a hard life. Hard life
I
to
mean-
live during that.
No, that's support Mirana. That's pretty much all you need. You need a set of tangos and a couple clarities. And
She's
you're gonna
fairly
be moving
fast.
around. I mean, I think they're
Clarities.
pretty. She's gonna be looking to throw a lot of arrows, but I think they're pretty confident with just leaving their Slark bottom against the Clockwork. So she'll just pop out, put a little bit of pressure, but mainly she's gonna be putting pressure on mid with the arrows. And
What do you think about offlane Magnus, man?
I mean, that's kind of old school. We've seen Mag kind of rising in popularity again recently. Dendy's been playing it a lot for Na'Vi, but they've been playing it in the mid role. So people like the hero again, but not so much in the offlane. So we're gonna have to see how they're able to get that farm up on the Mag.
Reverse polarity is so cool, man.
They are. He is going to be going up against an actual tri-lane, so it's not going to be a jungler where he can play a
Let's
little bit
do some
greedier.
mid, by the way. How did this not come
Yes.
up?
Yeah, it's Deuce mid. That's actually
that's-
typically how Deuces run now.
So that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
We kind of knew that was coming when I stopped playing. It's just, can she can't set up to Alina, right? Like, did she steal all her mana, dude? It's epic.
I mean, I don't think so.
Me either, man.
I mean, that's pretty much just going to be like both just kind of farming and getting what they want. And Lena's
I
going to
think I
be able to do that. And just come
I think
online
I
a little
could-
bit earlier. So we got Mag getting caught out here. And she's going to take a bunch of damage. Always looking for that skewer up onto the high ground, but he ends up going up there himself. He's going to eat through a bunch of trees, burning through 3 tangos there to get out.
I feel like he could have just skewered his own high ground, dude.
Yeah.
that was silly, but maybe he would have brought them with him and died. So
He doesn't
Obviously,
die. That's
the-
important.
yeah, that was good.
We got a first arrow thrown mid. It's going to... Ooh, almost hit burning DD.
Those
That was so
arrows
close.
with the clips are so funny looking, man.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see. I think Lena's supposed to bully Medusa. My
Mhm.
my mid lane expertise says so.
Well,
I'm
let's
not really sure.
let's quickly look at our lanes. What we got? We've got Magnus in the top lane. He's going to be going up against a tri-lane of Juggernaut, Ancient Apparition, and the Lion, who's making a rotation away. In the mid lane, we've got the Dusa going up against the Lina, and looks like Dusa already bringing out a set of tangos. We've got our second arrow of the game. It's going to land on the burning DD, and he's going to take quite a bit of damage here. And will he go down? I don't think
Oh.
so. He manages to get the mana shield off, and that actually just keeps him alive. Scruffy's going to come around from behind, trying to finish off this kill, but he's not going to be able to do so. Yex! Oh my goodness.
He still has an arrow.
Arrow. Oh, it's off the mark. Scruffy, I think, is going a little too
Oh,
deep for
Scruffy
this.
wants
He's going to
it
go
too
down.
bad.
It's going to be
See?
first blood.
Tower is under
What happened there? Scruffy's upset he wasn't it wasn't up there earlier, and then he wants to get the kill. That's what it seemed like to me, at least.
And he just kind of overextends, and in turn, it's actually a kill going the other way.
Yeah, we call that the Indie Bear special back on Back on our old team.
Well, that's something that's probably going to make Lena mad, is what I was trying to say. Infuriate, there we go.
That's a tilty move right there, man. It's how to tilt your mid laner one-on-one.
Yeah. But in the bottom lane, we've got Clock going up against the Slark, the Mirana, which, like I said, is going to be roaming around, and of course Chen's in the jungle. So, like I said, they're pretty comfortable having their Slark mid, or having their Slark solo against this Clockwork, and that's a very Clockwork, or sorry, that's a very Slark favored matchup.
Gank on mid lane with the with the Hellbear Smasher.
Dire's top tower is under
Scruffy
attack.
got an Invisor, and this Observer Ward from the Dire side did spot it out, so they know.
Chen just picked up his Wild Gun, so or the Wild Wing in this game, so we're gonna look to see his farm like just skyrocket up.
I think Scruffy may have come a little too close to that tower. He may have got spotted out there. But Shanks is going to sit mid. He knows there's going to be pressure getting applied to Burning DD pretty soon here.
Magnus doing better than I thought, man. He's level 3. It's his lane.
And
he's about to get a nice side pull here. It's really good for his lane.
I spoke about it a little earlier, the fact that he's going up against a traditional tri-lane, and the fact that they're not going to have a jungler. So he's not going to be going up against a dual lane and be able to get a little bit more. But the fact that they've got this matchup in the bottom lane with the Slark up against Clock, which frees up the Mirana to put pressure on mid, has forced Shanks to rotate out of that tri-lane to basically sit mid and protect the Dusa. Yeah. And that's created that 1v2.
Only trade-off being that Clockwork gets a little bit more for now than his top lane counterpart for the Radiant.
And that's something that you're measuring as well, right? You're like, okay, are we okay with Clockwork getting a little bit more XP and gold, as long as our mag is getting similar amounts as well? And
Arrow goes off on mid, and
it's gonna be off. I mean, sometimes those arrows don't even have to land. It's just a matter of them constantly flying across the screen and just putting the fear in Burning DD's eyes.
And Shanks is in a questionable spot. These boots are gonna come in handy here.
Yeah, Meg, he could come down and cut him off, but he needs to be careful. His HP is a little low here. And yeah, they're not going to look to keep forcing that. Once again, the Mirana positioning himself to arrow on mid. And this is actually a mistake I make quite often on the bottom. Sitting on just below that ramp.
Radiant's top tower is
and
under
when you're trying to set up an arrow, it's actually perfect for actually setting up an arrow, but you have to be very, very mindful of where the supports are. Because if Shanks was making a rotation around, he was up on that high ground, you could easily find yourself in a bad position. Of course, that isn't the case. He knows the Lion's mid, but it's something you have to watch for when you're roaming around as Mirana.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Sorry?
The Lion's
Radiant
top.
structures are fortified.
This is, as Scruffy, this is where I'd be frustrated already. Here comes the arrow on Juggernaut, and it hits on the
tower. Find the jug. Are they going to be able to...
Magnus, no mana.
Oh, wow. Will he be able to right-click him down?
Oh, wow.
He will.
He needed that. Moral victory, dude, right there.
See,
I should say morale victory.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
I think we definitely have two different views on the roaming Mirana, because right now I don't feel like this Mirana is out of the game at all. Like, this is kind of a start that you kind of expect to have happen.
If that went bad, that's when I start to think she's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine to fall behind in XP, and you can expect that to happen because you're going to catch up very, very quickly on a roaming Mirana. And you're kind of expected to fall behind. It's more about pressure and helping your mid laner do better. Just by the fact that you're constantly throwing arrows and making this Dusa really, really scared all the damn time. You don't really need that much gold on the hero. Maybe you want a little bit more gold and a little bit more levels under your belt to get your stats up, because you're going up against an AA and a Clockwork. There's a lot of damage sources coming in. We're going to see another arrow. Ooh, almost landing in mid.
We're on top of those arrows, man. We're like professional arrow casters.
But I think it's not a fact that the Mirana was missing arrows and wasn't able to get kills.
Look at this Lena.
Oh my goodness. He's in trouble. We're going to get an arrow coming off, and that's just going to save his life. He was body blocking to get it off.
Structures are fortified.
But he does so. But getting back to that point, I don't think it's so important that the Mirana isn't landing the arrows, but that first dive and giving that first blood to the Dusa is probably the biggest.
Okay, so this is a pivotal moment for the Chen at bot lane right now.
Yeah, he's looking to push here with the Slark. And there's not much wave clear on this dire side.
Yeah.
They can't really deal with the Chen. So we may actually see the Chen be a little bit more effective this game than we saw last game in terms of being able to push down some tier 1s.
So they won't get it right now. Looks like the next 2 dominates will take it down though. A doing decent on XP though, he's level 4.
Yeah. Again, this is another one of those plays where they're creating pressure in a different place, driving heroes away from that top lane, so helping Meg get even more and more. Because his Blink Dagger timing is going to be very, very important for them. Oh. They saw the Chen go in there to place an Observer Ward, so they know there is one up here on the high ground, up on the pillar. Ooh, AJ was smoked, misses the hook shot.
Yeah, you always want that first look to hit. That's unfortunate. I think they should have went through with their plan to go for the Lina.
Well, they're going to keep going for the Lina, but
Yeah.
they don't have that hook shot, so it's going to make it a lot more difficult.
If he walks on her, I think.
If she
He
like,
gets spotted up by the Chen.
oh yeah, if she broke that top of that ring, she was going to be in trouble. But now it's AJ in trouble. Does a nice job to dodge that LSA.
Inside the cogs as well. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Rin's about to spawn for him as well. Things could be going worse for the Clockwork, but he got a little hasty with the hook on the Chen, and then lost that pivotal kill on Nina we were talking about in the draft, right?
Yep. I mean, you take a look at the CS, and he came out of the lane with 10 more CS than the Mag.
Radiant's
He got
bottom
six
A got
earlier.
the bot
is under
tower tonight.
attack.
Not to interrupt you, sorry, but
Oh, wow.
that's a pretty big deal.
That's pretty noteworthy
Pretty
for sure.
poopy for the Chen. My big boy words. Pretty poopy for the Chen.
Radiant's middle tower is under
The
attack.
question is
Lion's
now.
wrapping around on Scruffy at top lane.
Yeah, he's going to get Hexed out, and then he's going to get Omni Slash. And I was actually just going to get to a point about that. Is now the question is, the Mirana had the roaming, wasn't the most successful with the roaming, not able to land a bunch of arrows. But now, oh, Locke is going to actually get hook shots. So AJ will land the second one, and they will get a kill there on the Mag. They use the Stone Gaze as well. Maybe not necessary, but it does get them the kill.
Dire side is, like, with somewhat success for about a
Dire's
level and
middle
change, they
tower
were
is
able
under
to sit their
attack.
AA bottom as well, which is
Yep.
it's a bigger deal than some people might realize. They're in a pretty good spot with their lineup. If they're ahead going into the mid game, they need to be ahead a little bit going into the mid game against this team. They want a nice lead for when Mag gets to spink up and then he gets her heals.
No, I
A
definitely
being
think they're in
6
position to
before
do
Chen
so.
successfully takes the tower is a big deal, right? Like
Yeah.
that tower deny for the AA and then subsequently being able to sit in that lane and farm it is going to be like all he needs to help prevent the pushes in the future. And he just hit 6 just now. What were you going to say, Niz?
No, I just think they're definitely in a position to actually come out of the early game in a good position, so that they can deal with the fact that this Mag Blink Dagger is going to be coming up. They've already done a good job of delaying it. I mean, he's only got 300 gold on hand right now, so he's a long ways away from that Blink Dagger. But the fact that they're kind of winning the battle between the AA. I mean, AA is already 6,
Shout out
and
Lena.
the bottom's anywhere from
Turn
it.
me over.
As we see the Lena
I'm
going down
done.
there.
I keep my enemies
AJ,
close.
getting
and
another
the
kill.
corpses closer.
AA ult comes out.
Yeah.
His dead body's been ulted.
But I think right now, ooh, there's a potential here for it. No, actually, never mind. I think right now it's just a matter of how soon can they get this level 6 up on the Marana. Because I feel like that's something else that they can that they have in their arsenal, but they don't have it available yet. Is being able to use that Moonlight Shadow and really set some stuff up.
It looks like Radiant's setting up like aha, we have more people than you know type of strategy on top. But Deuce is just arrow hits on
They
tower.
land an arrow on Shanks. They even use RP there. And they're not even going to get the kill? Yeah, they will.
I should have put healing ward down, dude. Not to be over.
Fan in trouble here as he's going to get slashed down by the Juggernaut. He does have Omni Slash available to him, but he is going to get stunned up by the creeps. But he's going to go down. Omni Slash does get used.
Yeah.
In the meantime, in the bottom lane, Jonpak managed to get a kill onto whatever. So the AA goes
Dire's
down.
bottom tower is under attack.
That was never going to be a clean trade for Radiant because Medusa was pushing mid, or like a free tower, I should say. It was never going to be a free tower for Radiant because Medusa was already at the mid tower. So what they got out of that ended up being pretty good.
But yeah, you have to think, like, they landed that arrow, and the arrow is pretty good. I don't know if the RP was necessary. Like, shouldn't they have probably just led with
Dire's
skew
bottom tower
instead?
is under attack.
I don't know. I think Juggernaut should came around the corner and dropped ward for his Lion, man. No respect for the support.
I don't know. I don't want to call them out, but maybe he just couldn't get in position to get the skewer off, and maybe the arrow was ending faster than I realized.
There's definitely a value in security to early game kills. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
say, like, "Oh, you wasted ult" or whatever, but if there's a 10% chance you're not getting that kill, it's probably worth the RP. Especially since he needs to be farming for his blink right now anyway. He's gonna get caught
He's gonna
with
get
his.
caught out here. There's no
He's
Omni
gonna
Slash, so
escape.
he should be okay.
Oh man!
He skewers down to the low ground, and we're gonna have Stone Gaze come out from burning DD, but he just runs the other way, and he'll be fine.
Then he waddled away.
Yeah. So, in terms of farm, I mean, what do we
Dire's
got
middle
here? We've
tower
got
is
Lina
under
almost
attack.
at her Yules. She's well, how much away is that? 800 gold, something like that. So she's getting closer, maybe even somewhere around 800 gold.
Right.
So she's getting closer and closer to that Yules. Mag's still quite a ways away from his Blink Dagger. And besides that, what other big timing do they have in terms of items? Like Chen's? Chen Mex is probably a little important, but... do you think they're just waiting for mainly the Yules on the Lina right now to try to do anything? Is Lina's just going to get completely picked off, despite the fact that she's got 3 heroes behind her.
Yeah, I think Radiant is stuck in a spot where they're trying to get their mid-game, their early game, I should say, like playmaking items out, and it's just not happening, and it's unfortunate for them. Like, I think ideally what they pictured happening was getting bot tower successfully with that first round of creeps, and then maybe moving to another lane and getting dot tower. And that type of space created, get your Magnus's blink because it makes him some room and gives him some tower
Radiant's
gold.
middle tower
Then Lina
is
has
under
Yules,
attack.
and then you kind of like start snowballing, you know. And this is, I would say this is probably not what they expected. And what do you do from here? You have to try to take a tower. I think.
And I think they're trying to do that. Maybe that's why they were grouping up in the mid lane. And then they lost their Lina, and they were kind of in an awkward position. They're like, okay, well, we just lost our Lina, now we have to wait. When they may lose it again, is AJ is going to jump in with the hook shot, Ice Blast going to come in. Hand of God came out, but Ice Blast will finish him off. Once again, they get another kill on the Lina and prevent any kind of push.
I knew in this draft that if you pick this
We
many
got
heroes that
him
die
Biz Mag,
to...
though. Come from the Moonlight Shadow. And there we go. They're going to get a pick off on DD here. Burning DD, who does get the Stone Gaze off.
He's got 6 wand charges and bottle. Maybe not. He can wand. It's a wand right
He's
now.
so close. Oh, the line. Nice stun coming up from him. He's going to get the kill on the Mirana. And Burning DD, instead of going down, suddenly has a billion HP as he's going to come back in full health.
You know, man, I meant to say earlier, this Mirana, when she was under-leveled, and Lion had just hit 6, I meant to say her fate for the entire game was to get Finger of Death it, and we see it for the first time there, even though I didn't say it earlier. But certainly she's going to die to Rocket Finger for a while.
And it's really rough in situation, too. You see how low you just got the carry, and you want to get it. But it just... You're kind of breaking that fog going up onto that high ground, and it's just like, okay, if there's heroes up there, I'm pretty much dead, because I've just used my leap. And he went for it, and, well, there were heroes. He
Looks like you underestimated the effective HP of Medusa Canes from wanding, man.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I knew it was coming, dude. If she didn't die, I knew she was gonna wand. Because she wasn't bottling as early as she could have, but it was perfectly timed, man. Perfectly baited. And, I mean, I thought she was dead when you said she was dead at first as well, but obviously that wand coming out of Medusa is just... It's like twice as much HP as a normal person gets.
I mean, it was what I mentioned. They need level 6 on the bottom. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Well, actually, they're gonna choose to go
She's
for.
doomed.
Oh wow. Yeah, she's dead. But Jonpak+13's in here in Viz, and he's gonna look for a return kill onto Shanks. Looks like he's gonna get it.
Oh boy, nice RP.
RP coming in from Locke, slightly off camera there, but they will try to TP away, and ooh, almost
good
getting
trade
out.
for Radiant,
Not
man.
quite. That was definitely a good trade for Radiant.
Reduce the pushing mid. How many TPs are down for Radiant now? Is this just dead?
Under attack.
I think this is just dead, man.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh no, there's just Lark with a Shadow Blade. Maybe. Oh no, if he checks his mana, he's gonna push the tower. He didn't check his mana.
And it's up.
That tower's going to get denied though. AJ does have hook shot, so he may choose to go in now.
Radiant's
Yeah,
middle
if he
tower
checked his
has
mana there, I'm
been
quite sure he
denied.
would have pushed the tower.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Goofy, of course, referring to the man on the Slark. As Jonpak was quite low, and he wouldn't really have been able to step up to the Deuce and defend.
I'm sorry, guys. My casting is like talking to someone about a game. Like I definitely need to improve a little bit. That's just what I would say to my friends if I was watching a game. But what I should say is, Slark's out of mana. If the Deuce saw that, he's gonna take the tower. But I'll try to elaborate more on what I'm saying.
It's fine. You're doing all right. Well, you know, I mentioned a lot earlier, it's going to be key, Mirana hitting 6 and getting that Moonlight Shadow. We already saw the first one come out, and it didn't really work out on that kill on Dusa. It's available again.
Man.
A's been a pest with that thing, man.
Just harassing.
Always on the Lina, too.
Oh, man, that's so frustrating. At least she's going to hit with a rocket, man.
Wow. You know, we said in the draft about it's going to be difficult for them to really prevent the Lina from getting the Yules, or at least I said that. She still doesn't have it. I mean, just under 100 gold away from getting it, 75 gold now. But still, we're looking at basically an 18-minute Yules on the Lina that's in the mid lane. That's not the kind of start that you want to have. 0-3 and 1.
Questioning the dangerousness of the Black Donger right now.
We're going to have a 3-man smoke in the bottom lane coming up from the Dire side. And while they do this, I'm actually going to open up the gold graph and see what we got. And it's about 5k lead for the Dire, and XP's about the same. But they're going to find Locke, and they're going to jump on him, and there he goes. Ice Blast flew in, but he was actually dead before it even landed, so they had more than enough damage to kill him there.
To that moment, you get your point booster on an ancient apparition. It's like making it through a yellow light. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not like your trip is over, but it's like, oh, what a relief. Like, because it's all downhill from there, uphill, whatever you want to say.
Dire's structures
It's certainly great.
It's not so much that it costs 200 more than the other components for your Egg Scepter. It's the fact that you're in such a vulnerable position up until you get those stats from the point booster. Your mana is kind of difficult to work with. You feel like you just don't have enough mana. You see a lot in pubs, Ancient Apparitions going for Arcane Boots, and that's just because they're struggling with mana. Frankly, that's honestly the wrong item choice to go with. Point booster will give you that, but you also feel really squishy just because you don't have an HP pool either, and the point booster really changes that. We're gonna have an initiation in the top lane as AJ is gonna hop in with a hook shot, and we see Scruffy going down immediately. Oh, Chen just getting interrupted there with that TP from the battery, and he'll eat the finger this time around. But nice micro coming out from a Centaurs, will stun up AJ, but Shanks already with the blink dagger on the Lion. We'll blink over whatever is in trouble in the bottom lane. Never mind. As him and Juggernaut just managed to claim another kill on this Lina. So lots of action going on in two different lanes. We have to say, it's still very Dire favored.
This is just one of those situations in Dota, man. Like, if you don't group, Clockwork kills you with AA. If you do group, you die to AA ult when you push. Like, they don't want to be out on their own on the map. They're actually pushing lanes out with their abilities too. Like, this is AA is one of the most frustrating heroes to play against for me, at least. Like, I really like Dominator too. It's just like, you can't go Dominator against AA, I don't think.
What's also important is that they've got a pretty good lineup where they can actually just say, our AA doesn't really need to be there. He can stand way back to make sure he always throws out a big ult, and that means he's just going to hit his target 9 times out of 10, or at least hit more than one target, and that's going to give you a huge advantage. He's going to come into the fight a little bit later. Oh no, Jonpak was sitting there hunting for a kill of Shadow Blade, but he was on top of a Sentry Ward. He's going to have to pop his ultimate to get on out of there. Ice Blast came in. It was a little late getting there. Oh, we're going to have that blink coming out from the Mag as he's going to find a 2-man RP, skewers him back to his team. Now we're going to have the Moonlight Shadow come out. AJ getting quite low, gets the hook shot off, and that'll be a trade as he falls at the same time Jonpak does. We've got a Stone Gaze coming out, but now Dusa will get tossed up in the air from the Lina, lands into an LSA, followed by a wave. But she's so tanky. We're going to see Scruffy going down one more time. Not even sure how he got in the center of everyone, but he went down.
Poor Scruffy, man. Scruffy's having a rough game.
Radiant's middle tower.
Once again, another.
There you go. Gives you an exclamation point. It's almost like you can, if you play enough Dota in your life, you can sense right when the player feels a certain way. You know what I mean? It's like You could tell, like, right at that moment, he's just like, Jesus, man, this game.
But again, we have another top 5 favored fight. And, I mean, you look at the kill total, you see 15-6. Obviously, you're going to think Dire's ahead. You look at the net worth, still, Dire's ahead. But I feel like they're even more ahead than what those numbers show.
Yeah, Radiant wanted to have a good mid game, that's for sure, man.
Yeah.
If you look here, like, A is always his busy worker B, man. He's stacking the ancients. He's just picked up his level 2 ult, like, just now off that last fight. He's halfway to Ags. Like, this AA gets Ags. I don't want to undersell the game, but it's going to be devastating for the Radiant team, like, worse than it already is.
I mean, right now, the only thing keeping the Radiant side together is the Slark. For the most part.
Slark with some Basher build can probably fight Medusa late game, right? Because he just bashes her out and steals all her stats.
Well, yeah, him being able to steal her stats is absolutely huge. Because not only are you stealing strength, so you're stealing some of her HP pool, but you're also stealing int, which is stealing some of her mana, which is, in effect, some of her effective HP pool as well. And then you're stealing agility, so she's losing armor and she's doing even less damage, less attack speed. So it's like Slark just does so much to counter Medusa.
Essence Shift is definitely underestimated in those long fights.
Yeah. But the problem is like right now, Slark is going to feel incredibly limited. He's going to feel even more limited once the Egg Scepter comes out for the AA. Because Ice Blast just really stops you. Slark's a hero that likes to get engaged in the fight and then kind of hop out and come back in after he regens back up. So he wants to kind of engage, disengage, engage again, and that's when he really comes out. And is max, well, has the highest effectiveness.
In that last fight, it seemed like Edge didn't even care. He just hooked into the Slark fog, so to speak, whatever that stuff is, the Shadow Dance, but whatever that he like has like purple poo-poo clouds around him, I guess, when he ults, and sometimes it's hard to hit, but I don't know, if you're confident with Clock, it's pretty easy to hook him, I guess.
Well, he's got his blade,
we saw that in the last fight.
Or he's got his blade mail right now on the Clockwork, so he's pretty much not going to be scared at all. He's pretty much going to hook shot in, pop that thing, and not worried about if he gets focused down. If he does, and he goes down, oh well, at least I reflected a bunch of damage back, and now my team's in a good position to just dominate them, because they're going to have everything on cooldown.
Looks like he's going Eggs as well. Arrow into Rush, they see they're not there. They're smoked up still.
They have seen AJ, and they're going to try to chase him. Moonlight Shadow will come out. So they are in Viz now.
Here comes the blade.
They're going to find AJ. But keep in mind, there's a lot of heroes here for the Dire side. AJ will actually hookshot away.
Safe play, I guess. They just need to last, honestly. Like, this is not good for the Radiant.
I think there was definitely an opportunity there for Dire to engage, but I think it is the safer play to not engage there. And AJ with the haste, still hunting. As they're going to look to get this Chen, they're going to have on me. Hand of God comes out, but they've already lost half their HP on Mag, who's forced to use the RP to basically just keep himself alive. As the Juggernaut.
Is Juggernaut going to dodge his Manta? Oh, he did, dude. You see that?
Oh my goodness.
Man. It's fairly easy. You just spam it when you're coming down.
Shanks has caught out Jonpak. Nice arrow flying in. Will catch AJ. But that doesn't keep the Slark alive as Jonpak goes down. Locke going down as well. So we've lost 2 heroes now for the Radiant side, just 1 down for the Dire. And now, Dire will look to chip away this tier 2 tower. And you can definitely just feel how far ahead Dire is at this point.
Yep. I feel like I get hyped for the silliest things, like there's a whole team fight going on. I just want to see the Manta dodge stun.
Well, I think that's one of the great things about Dota is that we can all watch it and we all look for different things and little things like that. I mean, you were looking exactly for that. I wasn't even really looking at it. Like, the camera was on it and it was in the picture, but I wasn't looking specifically for that Manta. Had my eye on other things, but I think that's one of the awesome things about Dota is there's just so much going on in the fights that those little things often go underlooked or undernoticed, I guess. But then they're only not noticed because someone's looking at something else that's, you know, equally as great. Or
the commentators are noobs.
Well, I mean, I guess that that kind of stands true for this stream.
That's for sure, man. Scarfy's about to get hit with the time of his life.
Oh my goodness. Rocket, A ults. He's crying right now.
just I'm going to base. Dude, that's like in some... There's one game where like Naga Illusions will just chase you with Radiance now and you just don't even want to play anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been there, dude. Back when I think I was like playing CM like a lot of the times when Naga was getting picked. It's like, okay, now we're late. We're late game. It's just like, okay, the Naga Illusions are on me. I can't really expect my teammates to help me. It's just a matter of running around and trying to do as much as I can in the next 8 seconds before I die to the Naga Illusions. That's kind of how Scruffy feels right now, is this Mirana. Pretty much anything he tries to do, he just gets hit with a flare and an ice blast, and he gets sent right back to base.
The A is dangerously close to the Ags, man.
Oh no.
He hasn't got much XP since we last looked at him, though.
They're actually going to be pretty close to actually just being able to kill Scruffy outright with Global.
That's depressing, man. You don't want to be that guy that dies like that. Maybe he wasn't supposed to pick up a Bassi. I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
You need the Bassi.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's just like maybe he wanted the bracer, man.
I think upgrading to the Magic Wand is probably the wrong choice. I think he needed some harder stats. Because he's not really going to be able to heal
watching
himself.
Watching this VOD, dude, us talking about like these
Radiant's
minutia
middle
while he's
tower
getting
is under
wrecked
attack.
in the worst situation.
I mean, we can speculate, right? In the end, we're not the players in the game, and I mean, both of us have kind of been removed from actively playing competitive for a while, so maybe he is making the right choices, and we're just kind of speculating the wrong thing. But I think it's important to always kind of speculate and think
Radiant's
of
middle tower
what
is under attack.
not only you can do better, but what other people could have done better in certain situations, because it helps you learn. So that when you're in that situation, you say, okay, well, maybe upgrading the wand isn't a good choice, because I just need my HP pool high enough to survive the AL, and then I have to worry about getting my HP up after that. I don't know how that's going to happen. He's pretty much going to have to go back to Fountain every time, but...
So here we have a Roshaton. It's dead already.
Yeah.
Juggernaut kills Rosh so
Middle tower
fast.
is under attack.
No global checking ability, as far as I can think of.
They're coming, though.
Roshan has fallen
This
to
will
the
go
down.
down, but... Yeah, I think they're just overall too late getting there.
Dude,
AJ.
AJ has constant haste in this game.
This guy is so manly. His team is nowhere even remotely close to him. They just pinged him out now. They're like, what the hell is AJ doing? Let's go help this dude.
Scruffy's gonna
Scruffy
die.
just finds a way. Oh, no, Scruffy gets out. Oh, the hook shot off
Way
the
to go,
mark. Good
Scruffy.
dodge by Scruffy. Omni Slash coming through. Hand of God coming out, but doesn't matter. Ooh, a nice arrow. Oh, it's just off the mark. Shank's getting quite low. There's a big RP. We'll catch all three. But not able to skewer them back. He couldn't get back in position to do so, and somehow will look like maybe a questionable initiate from AJ is working out for top 5 here.
Yeah, they're just terrorizing them now. You know, like
Yeah.
they're scorched earth. Oh no, Scruffy!
Oh no! No, it's gonna go after Lena instead.
Bottom
She's gonna go
tower
down.
is
Either
under
way,
attack.
nice ice blast coming out from whatever there. And look at that gold lead, 15k.
Radiant
XP
structures
similar as
are
well.
fortified.
Yeah, we saw here Radiant
Radiant's
really wanted a
bottom
good early
tower is
game,
under attack.
and they were denied their good early game.
Radiant's
and,
bottom barracks are
A
under
pretty much shut
attack.
down the aggression with his ult and Clockwork Rocket. And then Magis was able to farm, Juggernaut's able to farm, and
Radiant's
then
bottom barracks
some
has
bad
fallen.
engagements led to a big lead for the Dire side.
Radiant's
On the
bottom
back of all
barracks
that,
has fallen.
the Egg Scepter's flying in right now. So now A's got that completed. That's gonna be
I mean,
even
this
more
stuff is-
devastating.
This stuff is fun, right? Like when you die to an A ultimate Fountain or something like that, it's funny, I think. Unless
Yeah.
you're really taking the game seriously.
I mean,
Like, very
even if
seriously.
Even if you get like rocket flared and you've been in fog for a
Radiant's
while
middle tower is
and
under
you're like
attack.
halfway across the map, I think that's still awesome. Like, even if you're the one dying, AJ's gonna get skewered back. Nice pick off here. For the Radiant side, oh, it is gonna cost them their
Radiant's
Magnus. Maybe not
Here it comes, dude.
best in the,
Radiant's middle
in the
tower
end.
has
Ice Blast's gonna
fallen.
come through. It's not actually gonna hit anyone, but it will fly over Scruffy and Lena. Nothing. Scruffy just can't catch a break, man. Even when Ice Blast missed, it still hits him. He did have that one nice dodge on the hook shot in the Radiant jungle though, so we have to point that out. It's not for lack of trying. We mentioned in the draft that it's going to be a tough game for support Mirana.
Radiant's top tower
it has
is under
been.
attack.
He's going to get his treads. It's going to give him that HP pool that he needs.
Here we go. Is it Niz? Is it gonna give him the HP build up he needs?
We're gonna find out. Is
Radiant's
another ice
top
blast gonna
tower
fly
has
in?
fallen.
See? Even when it misses, it still flies over Scruffy. Oh my. It's a hard game.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, looks like we do have a little downtime in the action. Let's take a look at all the items. We've got a mech and arcanes and 2100 gold on Chen. Wonder what he's gonna pick up. Got the Lina with Yules and Force, and another 2k gold on him. So these heroes are getting close to being able to pick up stuff. Looks like Lena's going to go after an Egg Scepter. Scruffy just picking up those treads.
Rock it on.
Jonpak with a Scotty,
Radiant's middle tower
which
is under
he
attack.
just actually finished. And Locke not only has his Blink Dagger, but he's also got an Oblivion Staff. So he's still quite a ways away from a Refresher, but that's down the line if they can get there.
Jug just picked up his Abyssal. It's a pretty big deal.
Dire side, we've got Blink and Force on Shanks. Burning DD. Oh, we're going to have an arrow hit here. Oh, no, he's going to spin it. Never mind. Good play there coming out from the
Dire's
Juggernaut.
top tower is under attack.
The Ice Blast flies. Oh my! Farron gets hit by the Ice Blast. Shanks blinks in, throws out the finger, and now Jug just jumps on Scruffy. He opens with the Abyssal.
Radiant's middle tower
And
has
Scruffy
fallen.
just left to get slashed down
middle
with
barracks
3
are
auto
under
attacks, I
attack.
think.
Yeah, to be fair,
Radiant's
Crit.
middle barracks
Yeah.
has
I
fallen.
think if you pick this type of team
Radiant's
against
middle
Ancient
barracks
Apparition, you need to
has
be ahead
fallen.
in the early game. You need to make sure you're ahead. I don't know if that's always possible though, you know, that's Dota.
Radiant's top tower is under
Well,
attack.
GG's going to get called. And we're going to see QQQ, aka Top 5, advance to the finals.
Victory.
This one felt like they were in the driver's seat for quite some time there. And, well, you know, they just didn't come out of the lanes as far ahead as, you know, maybe you thought that they would have wanted to. As it's always difficult playing against an AA, especially when you're trying to be more so on the aggressive because you want to shut down the Dusa. And they just weren't able to have that happen. They started with a lane that was going to be difficult for them, with the Clockwork in the off lane. Or sorry, they started off with a lane that was going to be beneficial for them with the Slark against the Clock. And they really just weren't able to really capitalize on it. The Mega felt like he was a little bit too far behind with his Blink Dagger. And that's just not about personal performance. I think that's about the team as a whole and being able to secure that farm for him, and it just didn't happen. So it came out a little too late. But that's going to wrap it up for this game, unless, Goofy, you have anything to say about the game?
Oh, I just feel bad for Scruffy.
Never forget. Scruffy 2015. But that's going to wrap it up for this game. We do have one left as Top 5 will advance to the finals. Once again, I'm Niz. You're watching NizCast. Make sure you hit that follow button, twitch.tv/NizCast. You can also follow me on Twitter and YouTube. Both of those are NizCast as well. I tweet about all the stuff going on with the tournament and everything going on with the cast. And I also put the VODs up on YouTube, so you can check those out. Goofy, not I can't even
You're
say
right
that.
there, buddy. You have a little stroke.
So social. There we go. So I don't know. Just be on the lookout for Goofy. You don't really have any social media to plug, but you are sticking around for the finals, right?
Yeah, man. Who's
Alright.
playing? Do you know?
Well, top 5 again.
Obviously top 5.
Maybe Shamplu's team. Maybe the other team. Not sure. But I'm gonna throw it to music in the meantime, and we'll have a lobby up in just a second. Thanks for sticking with us.